Day 1. As soon as I spawned in, I did what every Minecraft player would do, get wood and stone. I spent a few minutes getting a lay of the land before jumping in the lake to kill some fish. Day 2, I started construction on a tree house, digging a hole in the center of a tree and using the canopy as the house. This took me all the way up to day 3, where I added a roof and walls. By day 4, I was finished with the house. So to celebrate, I went mining and found my first ores, the ender ore and thalassium ore. Early on day 5, I started building a staircase to any future farms I may have. After I finished the staircase on day 6, I went exploring to find the Sulphur Springs biome, where I can get sulphur crystals which is used to make gunpowder. I found new biomes, a hut in the middle of nowhere, and finally, the Sulphur Springs. I could see the bubbles pushing me up and I knew I came to the right place. I headed down cautiously. Jellyfishes inhabited these waters and could kill me at any moment. I couldn't do it, not without armor. I headed to the only place where I could get armor. I equipped my elytra and started my journey back home. On day 12, I passed by an ice starfield. This is the only way to get ice, so I stopped by one and proceeded to harvest its contents. By day 14, I was back home. I proceeded to sort and smelt all my items. I started making the first set of end tools, thalassium tools. I traveled to the Shadow Forest to pick up some seed and grass to make a shadow berry farm. The Shadow Forest is the most dangerous biome. Phantoms, endermen, and shadow walkers. On my way back, I found an aurora crystal. These crystals are extremely rare, so I harvested the entire crystal. These can be used in the late game for getting back to the overworld. I started placing the shadow grass at the bottom of the staircase to create a food farm that should sustain me for the rest of the 100 days. After placing all the seeds, I dug into the ground and started mining. I want to have a full set of end tools before I get back to the overworld. After exiting the mine, I started to smelt everything I got and proceeded to make terminite by combining ender ore dust and thalassium in the endstone smelter. Day 18, I used the ice I gathered from the ice star to make a highway to the other end island to start a proper mine there. After running out of ice, I went back to the ice star field where I harvested more until day 22, which was spent trying to find an end city where I worked on getting a second elytra and more shulker boxes. After organizing my things, I went to try to find the Megalake as they contain sponges which I can use for my second trip to the Sulphur Spring. I started a trophy room where I could put all my end tools. I headed to the mines where I would mine until day 50, where I went back home to smelt and craft as many terminite tools as possible. I headed to the Amberland biome to start a mine there. The Amberland biome has amber ore, which can be used for infusions. When I arrived, I set up a perimeter and dug into the ground. I mined until day 60. When I went home and completed my end tool collection, I started harvesting the aurora crystals I previously collected and started to gather all the items I need for eternal crystals. Since my elytra is running low on durability, I traveled to an end city to get another elytra. Then I went back to the Amber Lands where I mined until day 65. Now I have all the materials I need to make full crystallite armor, the strongest armor in the game, and eternal crystals, which I can use to activate a portal to the overworld. I gathered all my materials together, and after a few tries of it not working, I finally crafted my first eternal crystal. After crafting all eternal crystals, I crafted the strongest armor in the game, crystallite armor. And by day 69, I have full crystallite armor. Nice. Day 70 was spent preparing for the fight that every Minecraft player has prepared for. The fight with the Ender Dragon. It was finally time to get the egg.
Wow!
If I was not gonna get the egg the first time, I would get it the second time. So I prepared again. NCs for elytras and healing potions, and sulphur crystals for fireworks. I proceeded to follow the same path to the gateway, and I entered for round 2. And finally, after beating the ender dragon the second time, I finally got the dragon egg. Day 78 was a good day. It was time for me to focus on one of the biggest projects that might take me all the way up until day 100. So I went out to take saplings from every tree I could find. I planted all of them in a platform next to my enderman farm. These will provide me with samples of future saplings and wood. I started with filling in an area for the mini foggy mushroom land, adding moss, mycelium, and various flora. Next on the list was the coarse forest and blossoming spires. I started harvesting the pink and purple moss of those biomes, then coming back to fill the respective areas in using bone meal for the plants. Next was the helix and dragon tree. So I gathered blocks from the amber lands and the shadow forest. After placing down both the shadow grass and the amber moss, I started placing the cave moss right outside my front door. The cave biome took me all the way up to day 90, where I started building the room for the eternal portal. I started construction on a vault room, things I would need if I ever came back to the end after these 100 days. I started moving all my valuables into the vault, collecting all renewables, blocks, and tools I could find, and activated the portal.